Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Faithful Dogs. I'm Ted of Ted Talks Ball, the 49ers side, the Faithful side. This is Big Mike from the Man Cave 10, also the Man Cave 8172 on YouTube. Together we are Faithful Dogs. Mike, how are you doing on this fine Thursday?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I can't complain. Had a pretty active off season for the 49ers. We fired Steve Wilkes. We made some hires. A lot of us wanted a big name defensive coordinator. Mike Vrabel's name went around. Bill Belichick's name went around. And even Dave Merritt, the defensive backs coach for the Kansas City Chiefs, was in consideration. I had all those cats ahead of Brandon Staley. Brandon was pretty much my last choice, but he wasn't who we hired for our defensive coordinator. Kyle Wisely promoted, I guess it's Nick Sorensen as our in our defensive coaching tree there, and we made him defensive coordinator. We brought in Brandon Staley as like an assistant head coach and whatnot. But a lot of us were disappointed that it wasn't like a Vrabel or a Belichick, or even, like I said, Dave Merritt. There's a few other names. Some people said Richard Sherman. I never really put too much stock into that because I figured Sherm should probably start as a DB's coach, rather than starting out as a DC. Plus, he just got that DUI issue. That's never great. So one thing I will say about Brandon Staley is, like, I don't hate him as much as a lot of Niners Twitter does, because I look at him more like as a DC than as the head coach he was for the Chargers. And, for the Rams as their DC, he did a really good job in the COVID year in 2020, the year before they won the Super Bowl. And, I don't hate him, but like I said, I'm glad we didn't hire him as our defensive coordinator. And I just really wish we had hired a bigger name. I knew, though, I said I thought we'd hire an internal guy because we want someone who's going to stick with the system that all the players like and want. And one problem with like a Vrabel or a Belichick is they run a 3-4, and Bosa is like this quintessential 4-3, defensive end. The one nice thing about Brandon Staley might be maybe he gets Joey Bosa. I don't know, but hopefully it would be at a real big discount because he's been hurt a lot. I don't think he's worth anywhere near what the Chargers were paying him. And so, but it would be fun to see the Bosa brothers play together if they could ever get on the field at the same time.
Yeah, I don't know. Brandon Staley, the whole Chargers thing just, puts that asterisk next to his name. But I guess if he's got one thing to hone in on, then okay. Like if he's not having to worry about everything and he can just be like, this right here, this is what I'm doing. Cool. Then maybe his mind is where it should be. I mean, I love the KJ Wright. That move is great. I think that's a beautiful move. But yeah, like you said, keeping it in the system, Nick Sorensen, making sure it stays the 4-3. And if Joey came, I mean, you would definitely get him at a discount. I mean, he'd be a huge discount. He'd be damn near free because, that dude cannot stay on the field. Look, Jesus is already saying Staley's gone.
Yeah, I mean, I can't help but agree. Yeah, and like you, I love the KJ Wright hiring. I think he's a smart guy. I know he likes Brock Purdy. Not that matters for a defensive coordinator, but he was out there defending him on his KJ all day pod this season. I really like that. I like that he's a Seattle Seahawks. All things equal, if we're stealing somebody from the Seahawks, that's my most hated team. So I love this. I love to see the Seahawks fans squirm when we take Sherm, when we take whoever from them. Sala, I guess, came from the Seahawks too. I guess technically Brian Schneider, our special teams coordinator, came from there, but I don't think anybody's squirming over us getting him. Our special teams is pretty abysmal. Real quick, let's just say hi to the chat, though. Red Jet Shell stopped by early. Says like and subscribe to both channels. This is a good reminder to everybody watching that, we are streaming to both channels. the Man Cave 8172, and TED Talks Ball. So if you're on one, please pop over to the other, give the other guy a like and subscribe, whether it's me or Mike. And also, I need to do this myself right now. If you're watching on a browser, open up 2 tabs and watch us both at the same time. It actually gets us extra view hours. Just to make sure. In fact, oh great! So you got to remember to mute, just like that. There, now I'm muted. But it helps us out. So thanks in advance to everybody for doing that. It does, like I said, get a little confusing if you hear the echo, but mute button is pretty handy for that. So give us those likes, give us those subscribes, give us those viewers. Helps us to keep doing what we do for you. So yeah, we had Onshul from 49er Media in the house. He's saying hello. Daniel Barry, Sports Highlights. He's a content creator. Oh, so is Onshul. Check out 49er Media. I think he just redid his channel, so get him back to, I think he was up by me like 600-700 subscribers. Let's try and get him back there as soon as possible, folks. Daniel Barry Sports Highlights. He also has a channel. He's also a Rams fan, but that's okay. He's pretty cool. Jesus, obviously, in the house too. He was saying, my title was, where will Chris Jones land? And he said, Chris Jones is going to demand 35 to 40 million a year, which is in that Bosa territory. I guess Bosa plus. Bosa is right around 34, 35. So, and Chris Jones, it's hard to argue that he isn't a little better than Bosa. So I can kind of see that, except for he's also a lot older, right? Isn't he?
Yeah.
I think that's part of the equation. So I think it would be hard to give him like a 5-year, $200 million contract. Let's be honest, that's not going to happen. No. I don't think so. But and I think KC offered him somewhere in like the 25, 27 million range, and obviously they figured he might take a hometown discount. But looks like he's going to test the market and see what other teams are willing to pay. Jesus also said bring in DJ Jones. There's a lot of talk that the Broncos may release DJ Jones, or be willing to trade him for maybe like a medium to high round draft pick, and then eat some of his salary too.
They're getting rid of everybody. I mean, Justin Simmons they just released.
I know, what a stud.
Crazy.
Well, and so let's come back to DJ Jones. You brought up Justin Simmons, and it brings up a point of all these safety free agents. And let's start with not the biggest two, but I guess the biggest two would be Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer. Micah Hyde is going to be a free agent when free agency starts, and they just released Jordan Poyer, or maybe they were announcing it, seeing maybe a trade will come out today or tomorrow of like somebody not wanting him to hit the market and they'll trade for him. But man, what a pair of safeties the Buffalo Bills have. They do have some health issues, but man, when they're healthy, those two that's probably the best safety tandem in the league, right?
Now they're not.
No, they're not. No, I know. And then you got Justin Simmons on the market, and you got Budda Baker. I would love to get Budda Baker. He was just on with Kay Adams and Debo talking about how hard Debo hits. And you could tell he was booted out too. He was blazed to the bejesus. Yeah. But I would love to get, being a Cardinal. I mean, I don't hate them. I don't hate the Cardinals at all. Let's be honest. They're just a doormat. But a teeny bit. They're in our division technically. So it's still better than most any other team other than the Seahawks or like Cowboys or Eagles. Rams would be a good one too to steal from. I loved when we got Ebicom from them. But there's so many great safeties out there. Bayard, I don't think Bayard's great anymore. I think Bayard is kind of lost it if the Eagles released him. But what are your thoughts on all these? I'll bring up the list because I feel like I might be missing somebody too.
It's just insane. The amount of safeties, and you have all the running backs. There's a couple different groups that there's just an insane amount of players from each group that's out there. And you can understand the running backs.
And because there was a pair of Bills, I forgot the pair that started it all off, which was Jamal Adams and Quandre Diggs. Yeah, so let's not forget. I would love to get Quandre Diggs because I feel like the Niners need a rangy, real, true free safety because Huff and Jair Brown are more thumpers. They're more ball hawks. I mean, you want a ball hawk as a free safety, but they're not any makeup speed. They're not erasers, the way like not Charvarius Ward, but Jimmy Ward was for us, or like a Quandre Diggs, I think would be a good addition to the Niners. Since I just don't think that Gibson will be back. I think he tried to retire last year. I think he'll try to retire again.
Yeah. It's insane. I couldn't believe they let Quandre Diggs go, but again, it's money and trying to free up whatever the hell they need to free up.
Yeah, no doubt
And
about it.
Jamal, yeah, like guy in the chat says he's going to retire. I don't see him continuing to play. I think he's done.
Normal guy, what's up, normal guy? Welcome.
Normal guy.
He was saying what up here, and hello. He said Staley. I got that. Wilkes wasn't a fit. Staley was a misfit. And there's now. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I mean, Niners Twitter went bananas when they said they were looking at him. Nobody wanted him.
I bet.
Like I said, I didn't really want him, but like I said, he's kind of last on any of my list, but not like as far below the others as maybe with other Niners Twitter where they hated him. I don't hate the well, and again, we didn't hire him as a DC, but you got to figure if Sorensen stumbles, that's why he's there, is to take over.
Yeah.
So we got the Audible Sports podcast in the house giving us a little peace sign.
Right on, Bobby.
Sports? It's Bobby. Okay, right on, Bobby. Anshul says, appreciate it. Absolutely. Always trying to help my fellow streamers here. Doesn't, I don't have to have you do poorly for me to do well. We can all lift each other up, I feel like. Jones is light years better than Nick Bosa. I don't know about that. Especially, I don't know about Nick Bosa in 2022. It's just 2023, Nick Bosa, he had the contract holdout, and that really stunted him for that season. I think you'll see a much different Bosa in 2024 than what you saw in 2023. I think maybe his best year yet, even. He says Niners need depth on defense to contribute, play rookies to get reps. Yeah, I don't know what to me what we need is like. I mean, I love DJ Jones. I think that's a great. We need a run stuffing defensive tackle because Hargrave doesn't play well. We need Hargrave to be more of a pass rushing specialist, and we need Armstead to be more of a run stopping specialist. And if DJ Jones could play both, he could start out with Armstead on rundowns and finish up with Hargrave on passing downs, because I think DJ Jones is a much better pass rusher than Eric Armstead. So we got big eats for Big Pete's, Talofa Faithful. So that must be Jason Massey.
Yeah, he was on the wrong one. If you go down, it says that.
Oh, he switched accounts. There
he actually came on the wrong one.
There you go. Okay, oops, wrong channel. Yeah, I knew it was you because you're the one who says it. That's hello in Samoan for anybody who doesn't know. Xavier McKinney, hell yeah! I mean, my God, he's maybe one of the best safeties in the league right now. Young, playing for the Bucks, insane safety. Let's see who else is on the list: Eddie Jackson, Quandre Diggs, Kevin Byard, Micah Hyde, CJ Gardner-Johnson. He's kind of tarnished a little bit recently, but he's still annoying as hell. He's like one of those Draymond Green. I forget the other guy's name. I'm blanking on his name. The smaller guy, just so annoying basketball players, and you hate them if you're playing against them, but they're on your team. You kind of like them because they get under people's skin. But there's a lot of really good. Even what about Chuck Clark? He was a Raven and a Jet. It looks like. I felt like he was pretty good. Jaron Curse is decent. Mm-hmm. Anyway, yeah, there's a lot of really good safeties and Jamal Adams.
And Jamal
Adams. That's so great that the Seahawks whiffed on that. That really set them back many years for sure. We don't need a starting safety, only depth. We have our future safeties. Well, that's what I was just saying, though. I mean, I don't know that either one is a rangy free safety of Huff and Jair Brown. I don't think either. 4.6 speed to me is not fast enough to be like the one single high safety a lot. I don't trust that speed, but maybe they'll prove me wrong, Anshul. Those players got cut were making overpay. Who's Quandre Diggs was? I thought Quandre Diggs had a pretty decent
I think he might have been
contract.
all right, but a lot of them were getting paid way more than they should have been.
There you go. Jones can play anywhere on the DL line, not Bosa. Yeah, that's true. But I mean, Bosa's a better edge. So I mean, I don't know. Edge is the premier position. Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see when his contract comes out. If he makes more than Bosa, then you got your argument. But I think that's kind of how it happens anyway. The next guy always makes more than the last guy at the top. But if it's significantly more, then maybe you got an argument. I think it's going to be the same or less as Bosa personally, because of age. Maybe
he may take the deal with the Chiefs though. If everybody's kind of right around there, he may take it and stay.
Yeah. There you go. Weight loss food channel profile. There you go. Well, how much weight did you lose? I'm curious to know.
Nice.
I've lost a little bit of weight recently. I've been my son learned how to pedal. The first thing he did, we were at this pump track, was get on a pump track. I'm like, son, you can't go on the pump track until you get better at riding on the flat ground, or you're gonna hurt yourself. He says, Dad, I want to hurt myself. I'm like, all right, let's go, son. I went and got myself a bike. I've been chasing them around out there, and you actually get kind of pumped on the pump track. I've been like gaining muscle and losing weight. And,
yeah.
My mom took him up to the Cal Academy of Sciences today, and up in San Francisco. It's really cool. You got a cool planetarium there.
Nice.
And it's like the shape of a, like if you imagine the top of a sphere, and so like the seats kind of go up, like the screen comes up over the top of your head almost, and
it's like an IMAX.
Yeah, it's wild, and I never seen anything before like it. And but anyway, so normally I only go with him, but I was like, yesterday I spent most of the day driving down to near Salinas, which is about an hour and a half drive, tracking down a bike for him. And this is the third time I've done that for him. And in fact, and then I bought the bike I bought for myself to chase him, drove in the rain to get. I've had 4 rainy drives picking up bikes because I bought one for him. And these are all cheap, deals on Facebook Marketplace. This place is pretty good for finding bike deals, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
But the problem is, I drove to Napa for one that was $200, and then it was an expert, and I didn't realize expert means like extra large, and then I got him a mini, which I thought would be small enough, and that's like a medium, and it was still too big. So then yesterday I drove and got him a micro mini, which is a small, and it has smaller wheels, 18-inch wheels versus 20 on these other ones. But like I got 3 bikes for like $440. So 200, 160, and 80. And like the 80, I paid 80 when they were asking 50 because like, dude, I'm like, the tires on this bike cost $70 for the pair. I'm not gonna lowball you with 50 just because you're trying to like move away, and then you want to sell it quickly. I was like, that's unfair. I would hope somebody would do the same for me if I was selling something overpriced, for a sweet deal. So anyway, been doing a lot of bike buying, bike riding, but like not a lot of bike spending, which is nice. I was out at this track, and there's these kids in this area where I was kind of affluent. They're riding like bikes are like $800 to $2,500 used, so like at least double that new. And I'm like, holy smokes!
What kind of bikes are they riding? This is
like carbon fiber.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Racing, BMX, Orca, Rift,
freestyle bikes.
I don't know if you guys know the brands, but like I didn't until I like started scouring through all this stuff. And man, I'm like, you're spending that on a little kid who's gonna like outgrow it in a year or two? That's insanity. Unless you got another one on the way, and even then, I mean, even then, it's who even knows if they're going to be into it. But anyway, enough about bikes. We're here for football. Sorry for but that's why I was like, when my wife took my son today, and I was like, no, I got the show, can't go. And I was like, I'm just gonna go ride by myself. It's the first time I've gone out, and I had this little GPS that I bought for our RC cars to tell how fast they're going. I actually put it on the bike, which is what it was originally supposed to be used for. and I got up a little over 14 miles an hour on the pump track. So it sounds slow, but when you're going up and down and not really pedaling, you get the power from like pumping the handlebars, essentially pumping your weight. Anyway, that's enough about that. But got Jeremy Chin from the Panthers, another great safety. I didn't even see him on the list.
That is a
Is he
good
released instead of a free? What? Oh, you released today?
Oh, I don't know if he was. I didn't hear anything. He might have been.
I don't see him on the free agent list, so he
Players
must
are
have
just
been released.
getting released left and right, and it's absolutely insane.
It is, and running backs too. You mentioned.
My thing is you're getting all this money now. It just went up $30 million, and everybody's still getting released. What's going on, Rick?
Yeah, it's wild. Wow, Jason lost almost 200 pounds. That's
listen,
incredible.
man. If that's real, you need to send me a message. I need to know how. I mean, I don't need to lose 200, but I need to just lose a little bit.
I'll tell you one thing I did, which sounds crazy, is I started eating carbs again. I was eating all these like low carb phony bars, like Quest bars and stuff, and now I'm just like, I'm just going to eat real sugar and real carbs, and I'm just going to eat only a little bit of it, and just like not really starve myself. But like sometimes for lunch, I'll just have a yogurt instead of having a big lunch. But I'm not so afraid of carbs as I used to be. And honestly, that seems to be helping, which is kind of crazy. I know like a lot, like there was some pressure, I won't say from who, but someone was pressuring me to try like that Ozempic stuff. And I was just like, no, I'm not doing that, because we don't know the long-term side effects. And they're just starting to find out some of the short-term side effects. And one of the things I learned about it was like 50% of what you lose is muscle.
What?
And that is,
yeah, screw that.
Because you lose your appetite. You just stop eating. So it's like anorexia in a syringe. It's like, that's not the answer to me. And like I said, they don't even know the long term. But I'll tell you what. What's made of muscle, Mike? Your heart. Your heart's made of muscle.
Yeah, heart's a muscle.
Yeah. So call me crazy, but I think there might be some side effects with
unless you keep on working out while you're doing that and stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's weird, man.
Yeah, you got to keep the muscle mass. That's the key to anything, it seems like to me. Geno Stone from the Ravens is going to be a free agent. Another solid safety. It's wild out there.
Telling you, it's crazy.
Yeah. There you go. Rick Diaz in the house.
Oh yeah.
Red Jet Shell Salinas is a beautiful drive. Yeah, this was just short of there. It's a town called Prunedale, off to the right of the 101 as you're heading south. It was beautiful back there, man. It was like rolling hills. It looked like Woodside, but just with smaller houses. But it was very ranchy, beautiful out there. It looked like horse country.
Oh damn.
Yeah. Front of my outside clear, I think 15 miles south from clear. 15 to 20 miles, not 1,500.
I'm gonna say 1,500. Yeah, I mean you down by you
like South America, like Cancun and there, and that's
you out of here.
Cuba. No, it's further than Cuba. It would be like one of those little islands down there. Highway 1, coastline, Northern California. Yeah, Highway 1's beautiful. My trick for Highway 1 is don't drive south, especially on those curvy, like dead man's curves, because when you're driving south, you're on the outside going around left on the curves. And like anybody on the inside, if they screw up, they're just going to shove you over the edge. And so it's like, you feel much more safe driving north on the highway and south on those sections. That's my little tip for those who care about it. Yes, he likes Browns colors.
I do like the Browns colors. I mean, I love the orange. A lot of people don't like the orange, but I love the orange.
Yeah, it's nice. Burnt orange. It's very trendy nowadays, but it's been around forever. Toledo, Ohio. Wasn't there a John Denver song about Toledo, Ohio?
I think so.
There you go. Red Jet imploring us again, like and sub both channels. Thanks. Appreciate it. Did this, you guys don't need a safety, right? You guys got Delpit and you guys got Who else?
Yeah, we got Del Pitt and Thornhill.
Thornhill. So you guys are set pretty well,
Yeah, we got
right?
McLeod. Yeah, we got backups too. Yeah, we're good.
All right. Anshul St. Chin is a free agent, not released. All right. Okay. And then with running back though, Chubb is a big question mark, right?
You know what? That was another thing. Everyone's like, "All right, he's owed 11 million. We should release him." What? People are stupid. Well, he's past his prime. Listen, I'll tell you right now, Chubb below his prime is still good. I mean, I'm gonna be all right. Let this man do his thing. But we do need to get a running back. I mean, Ford showed some splashes here and there. Hunt's not gonna be around. There's not really no running backs in the draft that can be like, hey, there's like 3 of them, maybe 4, and that's it. I don't know. We do need to figure out something with that, but we'll see. We'll see how this all shakes out. It it blows my mind that all these running backs are out there right now. But again, no one wanted to pay them, so they all ended up on the same contract year and free agency at the same time.
So we got Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Saquon
Mhm.
Barkley, Tony Pollard, Austin Eckler, Cordero Patterson, Naeem Hines, Gus Edwards, Madison, Zeke, Devin Singletary, CEH, DeAndre Swift. That's kind of the end of the good ones, I'd say.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a good chunk.
It is a huge chunk, especially like, can you imagine? I mean, I could
You think you
imagine
named off what, like
Austin
12?
Eckler and
Yep.
CMC on our team. I would love
See,
that.
that'd be crazy.
I'd love to have Eckler.
I got his jersey hanging in my closet. I've always loved Eckler.
And I said Josh Jacobs, and somebody told me they thought he was washed. I don't think he is he? I mean, he was just a rushing leader like 2 years ago, wasn't he?
Not this past year, the year before he was.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude's still good. I mean, I don't know.
I just think when you got Jimmy G as your best quarterback, like, you know what's coming. They're going to run, right? It's not like it's not like there's any mystery about what the Raiders were going to do with that quarterbacking crew. And then I don't know. What are your thoughts on Derrick Henry? I mean, he obviously doesn't fit for the Niners scheme, but
you know where he fits, and I hate to say this, it's Baltimore.
Oh yeah, he would be good. Well, in the old regime, you know, with what's his bucket?
Jamal Lewis.
No, they're all there. See, Greg Roman, who like to run all those power.
Oh yeah, you're talking about those. See, yeah. Well, I mean, they got
about the new system if he fits as well.
Well, they got the young buck Keaton Mitchell. That's the CMC type. But then if you bring in the power back to complement that, they would be Derrick Henry. You know, I don't know. It blows my mind. He goes there. The Cowboys are looking for one. He can go there too.
The Bears are giving a contract to Jalen Johnson, 4 years, 76. So he's basically getting 19 mil. That seems cheap for him.
Oh, and he's a baller.
I would have thought 21, 22. Yeah, he's like one of the best safety corners in the league. I thought he was like in that top 5 list.
Yeah.
That seems cheap. That's good for the Bears.
Well, what's funny is they franchised him and then they gave him that extension. That way he's done and good. He doesn't have to worry about nothing. They don't have to worry about anything at all. They wanted to franchise him, so they had him work the deal and be done with it.
There you go. Sentinel in the house. He's giving us the looks. I think that's from the Bears extension. Right on. Got your salute right there, Sentinel. Thank you. Red Jet had a comment. She said, lots of water fills you up without playing with your body and exercise little bits out of the day. Smart. I will say, like, I think the thing that's been working well for me with the pump track is it's not like steady state cardio, which I think is starting to become a swear word in the workout community. It's like you do one lap and you're just like, and you sit for like 10 minutes and kind of wait till your body recoups. And then you do it again real quick, like a couple 3-minute, 1 or 2 minute, 3-minute lap. And so it's that sort of sprint walk, or sprint stand. And I think that's one of the keys for working out too.
Yeah, I'm chugging water and walking like 15 to 18,000 steps a day right now.
Dang, it's a
But that's
lot.
at work, and it's slow. I walk around the whole warehouse.
Nice. See what's happening. Everybody's just saying hi. Jason's saying yes, it's real. It's a high protein diet, but I shy away from any foods. Today I had
Nice.
waffles for breakfast, PBJ, pork rinds for lunch, and dinner is pizza.
So that's not hard to do. It's all about portion control in a sense, really.
Yeah, that's the
Eat,
thing.
eat a lot of high protein, cut the carbs and the sugar. Like I cut sugars out. Usually I might get a craving here and there, but I don't drink pop. I don't do none of that. I don't even drink coffee, any of that.
Huh. Yeah, caffeine's not ideal. But you wouldn't want to know me without it.
That's what a lot of people say. People at Starbucks know my name because I would, my ex, I would go every morning and get hers, but they would know me. They're like, you don't drink coffee? I'm like, no. I sip hers just to be like, what the hell, every now and then, because she was getting like 8 shots of whatever the hell in there. The espresso.
Espresso. Oh
Yeah.
man. I'm a big fan of PBJ, that's for sure. Peanut butter and jelly. Now, let me ask you, Jason, are you like a grape jelly guy? I'm more like strawberry jam and peanut butter. That's kind of my favorite. Smuckers is one of my favorites. But then I saw the label on the Smuckers, and I'm like, God damn it! And it's like,
don't look at labels if you don't
full
ever
like
do
fructose, high fructose corn syrup. I'm like,
yep, don't ever do that. It'll scare you away.
Dang.
Anything
Yeah,
that
I
tastes
think
good
one of
is
my
bad.
problems that I have is like that my mom, started for me was like, we call it defensive eating. It's
Yeah.
like you're supposed to wait till you're hungry and then you eat, and then like give yourself some time because you're probably full. You don't know it yet. And it takes like 10, 15, 20 minutes, half an hour before you like your stomach catches up to your brain. But like defensive eating is sort of like, oh, I think I might be hungry, so I'm going to eat now so I don't get hungry later. And that's never a good idea, I would say. All about how you make the food. Yeah, that's very true. And I think that's a big key, not just how you make the food, but that you make the food, because
Yep.
then you know exactly what's in it.
You know what's going on.
When
Yeah.
you eat out a lot, there's a lot of sugar and salt in that food, and God knows what else. And yeah, that makes it a lot tougher on you. So this is a kind of air show 2007 Salinas, like Watsonville, pretty Blue Angels kicked A that day. Nice. Love it. Yeah, I almost went to Salinas to buy a dirt jumper bike because they're kind of ideal for these pump tracks. And the funny thing was, I was out the pump track. I ended up getting a bike that was cheaper and could do more things. It's not probably quite as good on the pump track, but I could take it on the trails too. It had gears and a dropper post and a front brake. All these dirt jumpers, they didn't even put a front brake on these bikes. I'm like,
No.
I just can't imagine riding a bike without a front brake. And
Well,
especially if
you
you
know
ever
what?
want to take it on the street or anything,
Well, they do that because you hit that front brake, you're flipping over those handlebars.
No, I get it, but it's just like I just like
I never
having it.
used it. I always
Yeah,
used the back.
there you go. But anyway, the funny thing was then the bike shows up on the pump track. I'm like, oh, I recognize that bike. It's got the dice for the valve covers on it. I'm like, oh,
Oh,
did you get
all
that
right. Yeah.
from so and so? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, oh, how much did you pay? And they're like, oh, 1,000. I'm like, oh, he's gonna sell it to me for 1,100. And I told him don't go less than 1,100 because that bike's worth 1,200, 1,300 bucks. But he did. But I got mine for 900, and it's got more stuff on it. Just not, like I said, probably quite as good for the pump track, but can do a lot more things. So nice to see the Blue Angels. I saw Blue Angels a lot when we lived in the city. They would do Fleet Week in the city, and they would fly over Marina, Chrissy Field, obviously Golden Gate Bridge, downtown San Francisco. It's a lot of fun. Blue Angels are cool as hell. And an interesting fact about the Blue Angels is that normally when these pilots are, doing their stuff, like most of these turns, they end up like going like this, and like all the weight, all the blood is going into their feet, out of their brain, down to their feet. And normal Navy pilots flying F-18s, they have these like pressure suits that force the blood from your midsection back up, and they constrict, and it forces it back to your brain to keep you from blacking out in these high G rolls. But because the Blue Angels do negative G rolls, they can't wear these suits, and so they have to be, just extremely better than just the regular Navy pilots to be able to keep from blacking out doing these crazy maneuvers. So cool stuff to know.
Same.
Everybody's saying hi. So we were on running backs. So if you were getting an insurance policy for Chubb, who's top of your? I mean, I like Saquon Barkley a lot for the Niners.
See, again, I was just going to say that name. I was literally about to say that.
He just seems like such a good mix of like power and speed, and he catches the ball well. He just seems like he's going to be really expensive, though.
Well, I felt if for some reason because we're restructuring Chubb's deal, that's going to happen. So I felt like if we were going to spend some money on that, it would be someone like that. That way, if Chubb doesn't come back right or something happens, because it's a contract year for him too, because this is the end, then all right, well, maybe we need to let him go and keep this, keep Saquon, You don't even got to sign a running back for a long term right now. Give him a couple-year deal, and then all right, see what happens. But
that's tough for Chubb coming into a contract year when it's first year back from an ACL. That's brutal. Or was it an ACL? It was like a really bad knee injury, but it was
both of them. It was like not like an ACL. It was like, I don't know, meniscus tear. It was
the whole nine.
Front and back kind of deal.
Oh man, prayers up for Nick Chubb. Absolutely. Highway 1 is a 2-lane highway. Ted is scary. Love the drive. Well worth the adventure. LOL. Plus, there are lighthouses on Highway 1. Yeah, there's tons of lighthouses out there, and it's beautiful. Like I said, I'm so much happier driving north than south. I'll give you guys my secret drive around. If you take Russian River out from like Guerneville, which is kind of like wine country, Santa Rosa, Guerneville, you take it out to the coast, you end up in a town called Jenner. And then if you go north from Jenner, you end up at there's like this resort on the water. It's like a hotel and restaurant, and I think they have some cottages too. It's called the Timber Cove Inn. And so they have a cool restaurant, they have a cool bar, and there's lots of good places to sit out and watch a sunset, have a glass of wine, bottle of wine, whatever. And it's great. And then when you're ready to come back and you don't want to drive south on Highway 1 in the middle of the night with all those cars coming the wrong way, they could, who knows, maybe they've been drinking too. You can go inland, and there's a town called Cazadero, and you go right by Caz, and you end up back on the road that came out to the coast just before it hits the coast. And that way you skip the whole southbound Highway 1 at night thing. And they're like, whatever you do, don't turn off to Cazadero, though, because there's lots of people that grow there, and they don't take kindly to strangers at night. And I was like, understood. I'm clear. But anyway, so that's kind of funny. People are saying hi. I probably need to catch up here. Let's see here. You think that's scary? Try driving Highway 17 to Santa Cruz back at night and in the rain. Highway 17 is definitely a scary highway. There's a lot of accidents on it, but it is at least two lanes, and there's a big divider between you and oncoming traffic. But yeah, no, it's one of the scarier roads in NorCal for sure. Especially if there's an accident and that's not that scary, but you can just get stuck on there for a long time while they're waiting to fix it. Yeah, you got to come visit Santa Cruz, Monterey.
Coming out there.
It's beautiful for sure. If you want a life hack to help your diet, do not drink any fluids 20 minutes before a meal, and only drink liquids after an hour or two. This keeps you feeling fuller longer. Interesting.
So don't drink 20 minutes before a meal and then wait an hour or two after, huh?
Wow. So that goes against everything I heard it, because I thought water helps make you feel full.
Yeah.
Hey. I always say with these things, don't knock it till you try it. Don't be ignorant. So I tell my son, you can't say you don't like it until you tried it, Ford.
Well, maybe the reason is because if you don't drink the fluids before, so you're not full, and then you actually eat the food and you let it sit and you don't pile more onto it and you start drinking later, it'll extend it maybe.
Maybe
That's
you
how
digest it better too, where you're
yeah,
not like
that's how it
diluting your
works.
stomach acid. Because
That's
I know when you
nice.
drink water, obviously that dilutes your stomach acid, so maybe you don't digest it properly that way. Who knows?
Maybe.
I mean, there's all this stuff. Ford RB is good. Draft Watson from Memphis. Maybe Braylon from
Braylon from Wisconsin.
I don't know.
They're talking about Estime, Travis Estime from Notre Dame. That's a big name. I'm hearing. I like the kid from North Carolina, but he's a freshman. He ain't coming out yet. But that kid's gonna be great when he comes out. Or Wright, Jalen Wright. I want to say his name is from Tennessee. It's another running back that I feel all right. But again,
um, Browns definitely need a young number 3 wide receiver.
I don't no, not a number 3. We need a number 2. We got Tillman. He's young. We just drafted him in the 3rd round last year. We need to get a real number 2
behind
and
Cooper.
Well, yeah, and they keep talking about going to get Braden Cooks from Dallas.
Oh yeah, but didn't he get released? No,
Yeah,
not Cooks. They let go of Gallup. Never mind.
Yeah, they let go of Gallup, but they're talking about trading with like a late pick and getting Cooks.
Well, you know who might be available?
Oh, Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah.
I would love Tomlin's son to come here. Mike Tomlin's son would be a perfect fit here.
There you go.
Junior Omar Epps. Yeah.
Let's see. So we got OBJ available. Curtis Samuel's a pretty good receiver.
I would take Curtis back in Ohio. I would love.
Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd is easily the best wide receiver 3 in the league. Maybe one of the better wide receiver 2s, right? I mean, we know.
I wouldn't mind having him either.
Hell yeah, especially stealing from the Bengals. That's got to be good for a Browns fan, right?
And then I heard Deontay Johnson from the Steelers may be up for grabs if you want to grab him too. I'm like, that ain't a bad move either. I really want Mike Williams.
What about MVS 10 mil? That seems a little steep.
Who?
MVS Marquez Valdez.
Oh man, no, I don't want nothing to do with that dude.
Me neither. But he did catch that first touchdown against.
Maybe the pressure was on him in KC because of all the Mahomes thing, and maybe if he's somewhere else, because I mean he played all right in Green Bay. He wasn't bad.
What about KB Kendrick Bourne, former Niner, former Pat now? I'm not wild about him. I like Juwan Jennings better. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
DJ Chark, he was pretty hot a minute ago, but
Chark
seems like he dropped off some, doesn't he?
I wouldn't mind Chark. Again, Mike Williams is a big name, but it's going to cost some money. So whatever they do, they're going to have to figure that out. Because I really think we need a good linebacker to go with Joke, and we need that second-tier wide receiver to go kick it with Cooper out there.
So there's some good linebackers out there. Let me bring up that list. And the reason why I've been looking is because Dre Greenlaw might not be himself this year. He might not be himself again. Let's be honest. With an Achilles, for a linebacker, that could be a death sentence. So there's some good ones. Devin White, Eric Kendricks, Josie Jewell, Bobby Wagner, Jordan Hicks, Levante David. That's the one I like. Levante
David.
Just because I know he can cover,
I like him. I like Devin White. I mean, Patrick Queen's out there too.
But he's not going anywhere, is he?
They're gonna let him roll.
They are. Wow. I wouldn't mind him for the Niners. I mean, playing next to Roquan, that's good stuff.
Yeah, I think he'd be great. I don't know if he'd fit because of situations, but I think we just need that good veteran. It doesn't have to be like, I don't want an older one like an Anthony Walker. Again, I want someone mid-range, knows what's up, and can play hard. and not be hurt every 5 seconds.
Shaq Leonard, formerly known as Darius Leonard.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know if he's ever come back from his injury. Let's get back to the chat here for a minute. I feel like I'm way behind here. Henry to the Chargers. Jim Harbaugh loves power run. He definitely loves Gore. So
I think Saquon. I think that's where Saquon ends up. Either there or the Texans. Those are the two big teams from Saquon, I believe.
Interesting. I cut out a lot of soda. Don't drink coffee either, but chocolate and sugar are drugs. I tell you one thing that might be a problem that a buddy of mine told me when he was trying to get into ketosis. He said that the flavored bubbly waters, even though they got no calories and there are no like artificial sweeteners, it's just like the essence of whatever. But I think it's enough to fool your brain and, cause you to, create insulin or whatever. So keep that in mind. That might be something because they seem harmless. But my buddy said he could never get into ketosis while he was drinking them. And then without it, he had no problem, getting.
How do you know? See, I used to try to do that stuff. Like, I never really knew when I was in it and wasn't in it.
Oh, you pee on the strip and it tells you. You can also tell by the smell of your pee.
All right, I'm like, I didn't really
after that,
feel
once you know the colors, then you can go off the smell. But yeah, you pee on the strip and it tells you.
Well, I'm gonna say I didn't really feel any different anytime I was doing all that.
Makes sense. I should go for low sugar, sugar-free fat jellies, preferably like mango. Interesting.
All right.
I'm more of like a lime jelly guy myself.
Lime.
Yeah.
Really? That's never even knew there was a lime jelly, to be honest.
Oh, not jelly. Did he say jelly?
Yeah, he said
jelly. I was saying jello.
Oh, I was like, what?
Yeah,
yeah, messed up there.
That would be weird. That would be more like whatever that marmalade that the Brits make, orange marmalade.
Orange marmalade's good. I like apple butter. That was a big thing of mine. Apple butter.
Mango jelly. All right, I'm way behind in the chat.
Yeah, you said lime. I was like, what?
Yeah, crazy time. I tried to make food from every team soup. We play too much, but going with other content during this. Interesting. I like it.
Hey, listen, I'll tell you right now. I think my boy from the Cheap Seats, Beer Cave, me and him and Jay, we all talked about how we're gonna do foods next season. Every Sunday we're gonna have a guest on or maybe a couple, and everybody's gonna be cooking. Everybody's gonna cook something. We're gonna be recording it, and we're gonna just be eating and enjoying football. It's gonna just do a whole little food show.
Nice. So, what is the Cleveland food, Mike?
Cleveland? I don't know. Pierogies is a big thing here. Yeah.
Oh yeah, isn't there supposed to be eating contest with Jason Kelsey and one of those guys?
It was. Joey Chestnut was. It was a mascot contest, and it was the other night. Yeah, and Joey Chestnut was dressed up in a mascot, and he won, and then he took the head off, and everybody saw him.
He beat Jason Kelsey. That's not surprising.
Oh, well, Joey Chestnut, dude, he could shut down 60 hot dogs in 5 seconds.
Incredible. Just like for San Francisco, I have no clue what the food would be for San Francisco. I mean, I guess it would be like clam chowder and, I don't know, fish sticks.
I mean, paninis is a big thing too out here.
Not fish sticks, but fish and chips.
Fish and chips.
I don't know. I mean, for San Francisco, there's so many foods. It's like.
Well, like you got lobster rolls up in Maine. I mean, that would probably what the clam chowder, New England clam chowder is probably.
Dungeness crab is pretty big, so maybe Dungeness crab cakes. But I feel like for crab cakes, you want Baltimore blue crab cakes.
I'll take all the crabs. I don't care what crab it is, color it is. I'll eat it all. Crabs.
Yeah, they are. Only when they're in season, though. Season's coming to an end. I think it's like October to February or March, so it's coming to an end pretty quick. Normal guy says Dolphins have signed Jonnu Smith 2 years, $10 million. I think that's more than I would pay him.
I mean, that ain't bad. It's $5 million a year. I mean, he was productive,
considering he was getting 10 or 11 mil a year from the Pats, right? Him and Hunter Henry, they both got identical deals there. They were both like the 4th and 5th highest paid tight ends after Kittle and a few others when they signed there. But Jonnu Smith fizzled and Hunter Henry. But Hunter Henry's available too now.
And that's crazy, man. He was going to be so good for the Chargers at one point. Then all of a sudden, just
yeah.
I mean, hey, look, Cincinnati needs a tight end.
Yeah, they do. Absolutely. Instead of sea salt, try pink Himalayan salt.
That shit is good.
Less amount, tastes better, and good with digestion. Now, when you're saying sea salt, though, Red Jet, are you saying like Maldon? That's what my wife likes. She's not a big fan of the pink Himalayan. But there's different sea salts. Like there's just plain old sea salt, and then there's like the French Maldon that I don't know, whatever. I don't know. Let me know if that's
I don't know what the hell
talking
you're saying. I've never tried that. I've tried the pink Himalayan, but
well, the Maldon is like flaky. There's like flaky crystals almost like they're.
So it's not like a rock; it's flakes.
Yeah, it's flakes, and so it's easy to you pinch it and you can turn it into grains pretty easily.
Wow,
or really fine grains. Yeah, Maldon, Maldon.
All right.
But I was curious to know if that's what Chad's saying. We got one of your admins here saying, "What's up, fellas? What's up, Chad? Thanks for joining. Better now that you're here." He says Cooks is a number 4 wide receiver. Brandon Cooks, maybe.
I mean,
he's old though. He's old.
Yeah, that's the thing, and I don't want him, to be honest. I don't really care to take him.
Jesus says Browns legit Walker, North Carolina.
He's saying those are rookies, and you know who I really love as a guy to draft is Malachi Conley. They call him the yak guy because he gets yards after catch like nobody's business. Like the dude's amazing.
Ah, like Debo Jr.
Yeah, I would love to have Malachi Conley.
Interesting. I'll have to check him out. What school?
He's like I want to say it's like Western Michigan, or not Western Michigan, but oh my God, what is it? Western Kentucky or something like that.
Huh. Interesting.
I want to say that. I don't know for sure. I'm thinking of the colors in my head, but
Andrew Martinez in the house. St. Ted, salute. Yeah, you got the salute. Is Willie Gay a free agent? I don't think so.
Yeah,
For the Chiefs,
I don't think so either.
I think they're keeping him and Bolton. And well, let's look it up. So I'm not lying to people. Let's see.
Straight lies.
No, I did. I already had free agent linebackers. I was already looking up.
You already had it up there.
Yeah, Willie Gay is a free agent. But I think the Chiefs will sign him. But I don't see Bolton on there, and I don't see who's the other one they got from Tranquil. Tranquil's their best coverage linebacker. He's not a free agent either. From the Chiefs.
Of course, soda pink from Pakistan. Make sure it's from there.
Wow. Who knew?
They make pink salt or fake pink salt, he says.
None of that Tibetan stuff. Oh, really? They like color it or something?
So he says they make fake pink salt other places. That's crazy. Huh.
Well, if there's a market. Oh, all right. I got something for you. If we're on the salt kick, craziest salt I ever saw is from Korea.
Really?
And it's called bamboo salt. And they take this salt and they like pack it into a bamboo,
bamboo shoot.
They pack it in there and then they stack it up, maybe like, I don't know, however many fit on a tray, and they stack them up in an oven and they cook it. And I think it's till the bamboo vaporizes or turns to ash. And then there's this cylinder of salt. And I think they do that at least 10 times. Maybe it's 27 times. They cook the salt in the bamboo, and each time it cooks, there's some properties from the bamboo that infuses into the salt. And you want to see expensive salt. Let me look it up. I got to look it up now.
Really?
Just so, yeah, I mean, it is ridiculously expensive. Wait, it didn't. I got something else back, so I didn't put the salt part in. So here we go. So we got some on Amazon. Purple bamboo salt
Purple.
$35 an ounce. No, $16 an ounce.
Jesus.
So, so you want a pound of salt?
Wow, dude.
16 times 16
Yeah, that's
is
crazy.
like $200 a pound.
Yeah. Yeah, it would literally be that.
All
That's
you
exactly
fancy
what it
salt people, get some of that and come back. Tell me how that works for your diet. That's creative
would
witchcraft.
be.
Are you watching Shogun? That's awesome.
Listen,
Shogun,
I'm gonna
the
start it.
original series was awesome.
I'm gonna
Ken
start
Follett.
it.
Is
I
Ken Follett?
haven't started it yet. Huh?
I forget the name of the author of the original Shogun. I want to say Ken Follett, but he was more of like a war guy, so maybe I got that wrong. I'll look it up.
Yeah, it just came back out, Shogun. It's
Shogun author.
read
James Clavell. There we go. Yeah. And Samurai. Yeah.
See, I don't know nothing about that.
Shogun is life. Wow. David Clavell's author. Okay. There we go. Now I'll have to check it out for sure. I'm always on the lookout for cool series. The trick is to make sure my wife likes it, because if she'll go a few episodes, if she doesn't like it, it's like, I'm never going to see the end of that sucker. That's the key. All right, so where were we? We were on linebackers. We did wide receivers. We did running backs. We did
linebackers.
Should we do cornerbacks?
Corners.
There's not much.
A lot out there.
It's like a Dory Jackson. And another Jackson.
JC, I think Jackson's up.
Yeah, JC. I think he's up. I think he's like Jamal Adams. I think it's time.
It's time for him to be done.
To retire. I remember. See, we're intimately tied with JC Jackson because a couple years ago, all Niners Twitter, including myself, wanted JC Jackson, and we got Mooney Ward, and we're like, oh man, he's $3 million cheaper, but he's not nearly as good. La, la, la. Next thing you know,
boom,
Mooney Ward's like all pro, and JC Jackson is like released for the second time in a couple years. So it's not good for his career for sure.
Yeah.
But we got JC Jackson and Dory Jackson, Darius Williams, who's a real good underrated corner, but I say underrated, but he at $10 million a year, that's not exactly cheap.
That's not underrated.
It's not super underrated. Kendall Fuller, I like him.
Yeah, Kendall.
Bear, right? And now former Washington Commanders.
Howard.
Stephon Gilmore, kind of washed, right? 33 and a half. They got Micah Hyde listed here, but he's a safety, folks. Don't be fooled. Oh yeah, it's strong safety. Everybody else, well, actually, they got some people. Poyer's on here too, which is weird. Maybe it's
secondary.
That's cornerback. No, that's cornerback. Avonte Maddox. Now there's a nickel corner. Oh, I would love to get him from the Eagles. So that's like bonus points. Anything from the Eagles. I'm extra good on. But then we could put Avonte Maddox a nickel, and we could bounce Lenore out to the boundary, and no more Ambry Thomas. I would freaking love to get him, although he's had some injury issues himself. Avonte Maddox. Another good one, I think you would know more. He's from the black and blue AFC North. Chidobe Awuzie.
Awuzie. He's from the Bengals. Yeah.
He's pretty good, right?
Yeah, they love him. So I'm shocked. He wants to test free agent. Him, Reader, and I want to say someone else wants to test free agency.
I also like Steven Nelson. You know, he was a former Steeler and now a Texan. I feel like he's pretty good. You start getting further down. Levi Wallace, he got injured for the Bills, so I don't know what his injury was, but it seemed like a big one. I don't know if Sean Bunting. I always liked him. Sean Murphy Bunting from the Bucks. He's cheap too, 3.5 mil. Well, although I don't think he will be on his next deal. Hey, folks, any other teams out there? You know, don't miss out on Isaiah Oliver. Just make sure he never comes back to the 49ers. That's all I care. I hope Randy Daytona doesn't hear that because Randy loves him some of his Oliver, and he's not a big fan of Ambry Thomas. And I'm not a huge fan of Ambry Thomas, but like I'd much rather have Ambry in there than Isaiah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And most Niner fans would agree on that. There are tons of CB's bad ones. Witherspoon is one. I wouldn't mind Spoon back. I think I'd rather have him than Ambry Thomas on the boundary. Xavier Howard is the guy. Is he though? I mean, he was a few years ago. I've had some Dolphins fans. In fact, I do my weekly show, or I used to do a weekly show with Aaron Lavigan from 49ers First Takes, and he's stepped away from streaming. He still does his updates, but he hasn't not done his live streams for a few weeks. His brother is a big Dolphins fan, and he contends that Xavier Howard is washed. I know he's had a lot of injuries. It's funny because a few years ago, or even as of now, he was like leading the league in interceptions for the last few years. But seems like, I mean, obviously, if he's that good, the Dolphins aren't going to let him go. So
I think that was again more money.
Yeah. DJ Jones coming home. Make it so, Kenny. Make it so. Nothing would make me happier. I'd love to get DJ Jones back in the house. Oliver finished with a higher grade than Ambry Thomas. That's why PFF is trash. By almost 10 points. I mean, he also finished on the bench for the end of the season. So what are we talking about here? They're obviously different positions too, you know.
Yeah.
Isaiah was playing nickel and Ambry was playing boundary. So it's not exactly apples to apples. A good movie series, The Book of Clarence. Shout out Lakeith Stanfield. All right. Tell us a little bit about it, Audible Sports. Like, just because I'd never heard of the Book of Clarence. Clarence. Over. Reminds me of Airplane. Roger.
Oh yeah, Airplane. Yeah.
That was what I always forget, Clarence, because I remember over, Roger, and I always forget Clarence.
Yeah.
Clarence.
Clarence. Yeah.
Such a classic movie. So many great ones from the 70s. Airplane, Animal House, Caddyshack. I mean, man, just boom, boom, boom. And just stuff you can never get away with anymore.
Yeah.
Oliver led the entire team in tackles in week 6. Okay, that's great. There's 17 weeks in the season, Kenny. No, all right. No, I always said I really liked Oliver around the line of scrimmage. I thought he was really good in run fit, solid tackler. You know, he made like a diving tackle on somebody from the Bengals, I think, if it was, where he did well on the line of scrimmage. It was just as a cover guy, if they had a speedy slot receiver and that receiver got literally one step, he was never, ever going to make it up. And he never did. And maybe he will on the next team, but I'm just glad it's not with us. I think it's a huge reason we beat the Rams. Yeah, I guess that's what Randy. Are you sure you're not Randy Daytona, Kenny? Because Randy brings up these same points. Yeah, I mean, we did have a comeback. I mean, that was one of Brock Purdy's comebacks was against the Rams, but it was a first half comeback, so those don't count quite as much. But hey, Isaiah Oliver, did play well against the Rams. That's good. We got this Oliver the first twice. I don't know about twice. We did lose. Oh, I see, because we did lose at the end. I got it. I just don't really count the one at the end because made no difference. And honestly, Brock Purdy didn't play a lick in that game, and neither did a lot of players.
Yeah.
And some of the players only played till they got their, meaningful.
Got their incentive.
Got 1,000 scrimmage yards, and he was out.
Yeah.
So I tried to look at Oliver's old games. All I saw was him dusted by 2 players. Yeah, but the problem is like his old video was like before his injury for the Falcons. I don't think he's ever been, kind of like Jimmy G with his ACL. I don't think he's ever been the same since his ACL.
He tells you about this movie, huh? It's a biblical satire, not too serious. Huh.
No, Kenny, the only people debating it are you and Randy Daytona. Everybody else is, nobody's like wild about Ambry, but most everybody likes him better than Isaiah Oliver. No, I didn't blame Brock. Absolutely not. Purdy played well.
Yes, he did.
He played well. So what else we got? Well, I mean, I guess we should do free agent O-line.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah. And the Niners have been linked to Michael Omenunu. He's a.
Is he from the Texans?
Was he, or is he on the? Let's see here. So we got Laken Tomlinson. There was talk of that. Please do not bring him back. Left guard for the Jets. He was left guard for the Niners before that. Lions before us. Nothing great. Huh. It's weird. The list is long, but there's not a lot of good talent on this O-line list. Anders Pete, I think he's a decent guard for the Saints always have pretty good O-line. But I think he's one of their weak links. There's really not much.
It's
Graham Glasgow. I mean, he's all pro for the Lions.
Yeah.
I hear the name. I would love to get Nick Allegretti for the Chiefs. He was their sixth man, filled in well during the Super Bowl, tore his UCL, played most of the game with it. I think he would be great to have on the 49ers. I like John Feliciano. I hope we re-sign him. I imagine the Chiefs will re-sign Allegretti. Wow, it's crazy how I don't see that guy that everybody's been linking us to on here. But maybe he's missing again because remember earlier Jeremy Chin didn't show up on the Spotrac safeties list. Maybe that guy, Michael Omenem Munu, whatever his name is, isn't showing up. Should we look at quarterbacks? How are you feeling about Deshaun Watson? Should be 100%, right?
Yeah, I'm good. Listen, I'm riding with Watson. We pay him all this damn money. We do all this stuff. I'm not gonna all of a sudden be like, all right, cool, chuck him to the dirt. I mean, because the last thing I remember him doing, he beat the Ravens.
I would love to replace not Purdy, of course, but what's his bucket? Sam Darnold.
That's your guy.
I can't stand that guy. Cannot stand
Trey Lance back.
I mean, don't get me started. I don't think we should have ever got rid of him, but I understand why they did it. And until he balls out somewhere, it's hard for me to say it wasn't the right move. Especially with how much we were paying him. We were paying almost $10 million a year. So it's a lot for somebody to be a backup. Brian Nielsen says, ew, 49ers suck. Chiefs Kingdom. All right. There you go. If we suck, then how come it took you guys OT to beat us? And Drake Greenlaw getting injured and a bunch of other guys too.
That was ridiculous. That dude jumping around like that, getting hurt. That was crazy. I knew it was the Achilles as soon as it happened too. I was like, damn.
It's brutal. No way. Steph 4K, Mariah, Ashley, Ariana, Jose Fernandez, lots of debate on them. Oh, okay. So they are all debating about. Interesting. Haven't streamed with Ashley yet. Haven't asked her actually. Maybe I should do that. Jose Fernandez. I'm not sure I know who that is.
I thought that was the Marlins pitcher that passed away. To be honest, I didn't know who these were.
Steph Sanchez is amazing. Wayne and Mike. There you go. But remember, Kenny, some people do that format where they're just like, oh, let's pick a topic and you're going to argue for it. I'm going to argue against, even though I don't really believe it at all. It just makes for good watching.
Yeah.
If you're not like, oh, you're great. I agree with everything the other person says. So remember that does happen. I don't see Randy or Tommy very much anymore. Yeah, I haven't seen Randy was stopping by. I think Randy is getting off later. And Tommy Huxley, I see him every now and then.
I see Randy. Randy comes and joins the cheap seats in Sports Madness every so often.
What time do you do that show?
It's Saturday and Sundays, and it's like
Yeah.
one's 4 to 6, and the other one's 6:30 to 8.
Yeah, I think on weekdays I'm streaming too early for Randy. Because like he's come in at the tail end of some shows recently.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's a shame. Hope to see them more of them soon. Jose was on Grant in the past. Okay. Got it. I need to watch more of Grant. He is a legend for sure. Well, I feel like we've sort of hit the wall here. We've kind of gone through what we need to. Got our updates. Anything that you want to add? Anything we may have forgotten?
I mean, we pretty much threw it all, and hopefully teams aren't stupid. Hopefully the Bears aren't stupid. I'm not a Bears fan, but I'm just sick and tired of seeing them suck, and it's the same shit every single year. God, man, it just blows my mind how they have all this and they just still don't want to do what's right.
Eberflus going to trade up that QB with his defensive ways. Makes perfect sense, right?
Yeah, dumb as hell.
Real quick, let's look at some free agent D lineman not named Chris Jones. Leonard Williams, that's a pretty big one.
Yeah, didn't know how.
Although he's getting up there, right? He's almost 30, 29.7. Carl Lawson, I remember he was a big deal when he joined the Jets, but then I feel like he got injured. Has he never been back since then?
Yeah, you don't ever hear his name really. That's the crazy thing.
Well, defensive end, if you lose explosion. Marcus Davenport, he's a good run stuffer. That could help the Niners. That could be like our Educom 2.0. He's expensive for that, but maybe if you took a little pay cut. Romeo Okwara, last I knew he was on the Lions. Ngakwe, a lot of us wanted him last offseason, but then I don't know that he did much this season. I don't remember hearing much about him. Fletcher Cox. Oh, that would be a good one from the Eagles. Yeah. Even though, again, he's nearing the end of his road, 33. I bet he's got one good year left in him.
No, yeah, he's probably got one or two.
Chase Young for the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't want him back unless it's dirt cheap or incentives or whatever, or both. Calais Campbell, he's kind of 37 and a half. I didn't realize he was that old. Holy
that dude is huge. You can't teach what he's got, though. Dude
almost 38 years old. Wow. That's impressive. And that's really about it of people. Ashawn Robinson, he's a pretty good interior guy for the Rams. Well, formerly Rams, now Giants. Kinlaw, free agent. I hope the Niners actually re-sign him. Christian Wilkins for the Dolphins. That's a good one. I'd like to.
He's going to want $80 million though for whatever contract he gets.
Probably. Shelby Harris, he's kind of solid and cheap.
Yeah.
Greg Gaines, another solid, cheap ex-Ram interior defensive lineman. Hassan Ridgeway, I liked him when he was a Niner. I'd love to get him back just as a cheap rotational depth piece. Sebastian Joseph Day, we got him. He didn't seem to do much this year. Let's see if there's a Clelin Ferrell, 49ers. Definitely want to re-sign him cheap. He's good at setting the edge. Poona Ford, Al Woods, both former Seahawks. I think they're both kind of washified. Oh, Al Wood's 36.8. He's almost as old as Calais Campbell. I don't think there's really any other big names on there or notable.
No.
Linval Joseph, he's kind of old too. Yeah, 35.3.
You got some edges. You got some edges out there. Daniil Hunter and
Daniil Hunter would be amazing.
He's coming off, and then
expensive.
Smith, Mary Smith.
Zadarius from you guys, right?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to re-sign him.
I don't think you should, right? Didn't he dropped off after he left the Packers, right? Because he had an ACL or something, right?
Yeah, he went to the Vikings, did all right, but yeah, then he's here. He was all right, but it wasn't enough.
Kenny says I'd trade Fields and not draft Caleb.
Well, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't draft Caleb at all, anyways. But again, if you kept Eberflus, you keep Fields, let that run out the course of this next year, and you still have 2 first-round picks next year. Get a new coach, you'll get a quarterback. And to be honest, how I said, and I went with my son, he had said this to me. If they could draft Bo Nix in the beginning of the second round, I got 2 second-round picks that are high. Draft Bo Nix. If Fields goes to the shit can, then throw Bo Nix in there, and the dude's capable of doing it.
There you go. I like it. Kenny says, what do you think about trading Debo, Eric Armstead, and Juice and signing Daniil Hunter and Chris Jones for 1 year? I like Daniil Hunter and Chris Jones. Problem with trading Debo is he has so much dead cap. I think like of his $28 million, I'm pretty sure 22 of it is dead cap, so you don't save much by trading or cutting him. Unless the trade is different. I guess you can't eat money that's already signed as a signing bonus. That's already out there.
You see Russell Wilson, they're letting him go. It's about to be $84 million dead cap hit.
That's a lot.
That's insane.
Now, there was talk of Wilson to the Steelers.
Yeah.
There's talk of Wilson now to the Vikings because it sounds like, I guess, it sounded like Kirk Cousins bought a house in Atlanta, right? So
listen, you hear that shit all the time. You know how many times Cleveland hears all these people are buying houses here? And if he really bought the house, that's different, but I don't think so.
You don't think Cousins is going to Atlanta then?
I mean, that would be a great fit. They
need a QB, right? That's where one place I thought Russ Wilson would go. I thought Steelers or
I think Russ Wilson goes. I want Russ Wilson to go to Vegas.
Oh, Vegas needs a QB too. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, hey, listen, he's on a
prove back to the Broncos, stay in the division, right?
He's on a prove me thing, and then he'll see them twice a year, be able to torture them twice a year. Ooh.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Cousins to Atlanta. I mean, who knows if those things are true, Kenny? But that's what I heard.
I think it would be great if he went to. I think that.
And I know one thing I'll say about Kirk Cousins is that boy is cheap as hell. Like he's not out just buying houses all over the place. And like maybe if it's an investment, who knows?
If it's real, if he really bought the house, if that's a real thing.
I just know that like he's cheap enough that he's rolling in like his old, dad van from like 10 years ago.
Yeah, he don't care. He's not the guy that's gonna go out there and buy Lambos and shit. He probably does have a Lambo. He's just not gonna drive it around.
There you go. Yeah, it's more of an investment, I guess.
That's money. It's going to appreciate. It doesn't depreciate. It'll just sit there and be cool. And then, bring it out, bam, sell it. He'll never be broke.
There you go. No, that guy is, he's good with his money for sure. Land is what you want to invest in, no doubt. Land Joseph. What was that movie? Far and Away? That old
Far and
Away. Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman movie. That was a good one. Land Joseph. Well, all right, I think we're lagging here. Let's call it a day. Let's just say, everybody make sure you check out Mike. He's at the Man Cave 10 on Twitter and X, and the Man Cave 8172 on YouTube. The link's in the description for the show. Hit him with a like and subscribe. Please do the same for me. I'll just say peace and go Niners.
Appreciate it.